pedestrian crossing?
It would just be much more spectacular if that was all green space.
You know, let me just mention one thing about the parking. While we have an excess of 275 spaces over and above what would otherwise be the city requirements, our users have requirements as well, so that's part of the reasons why we have more spaces. The area around the aquarium and the hotel really wants to be the place where you have the event. Because you've got all that activity, and, you know, it's the appropriate place for it. You know, and, you know, just one of the things that I'd like to just go back and say, again, when you think about this development and these multiple uses, I think a lot of people around the country have given up on the mixed-use concept. They don't think it works. You know, it's tough to do. It is tough to do. It's tough to put all of these uses on 17 acres. And yet, you know, while we'd like to think that we're heading toward less cars and, you know, less auto use, we're not there yet. So while, and I began to mention this before, while we, you know, as people that are thinking about the future would like to have less parking spaces, our retailers, our office users, you know, the first thing they want to know is there going to be enough parking for me?
Yeah, I'm actually much more difficult than that because I don't really want you to get rid of any parking. I just want you to go lower and make that all green. It's a lot of concrete on top is all I'm saying. It'd just be nicer if that were greener inside because you've got building, a lot of hardscape. I know you've got some green around the side, and maybe it loses some of its sense of scale when you're looking at a drawing versus the real thing.
I would suggest that if you go to any large parking lot or any kind of retail situation, that this actually has more green space and more trees and more landscape.
I'm not comparing it to what is, I'm comparing it to what could be. So, yeah.
Yeah,
just an idea.
Yeah, and just, again, I got to satisfy retailers as well.
I understand.
And they want to know that when any of you want to go shopping, that you can park as close to their door as you possibly can. So we need to have, you know, we're not going to lease this unless we've got parking at their door.
Okay, at this time, we will open it up for a public hearing. Once again, I want to remind everyone, we're asking those who wish to speak, either for or against, to limit your time to 3 minutes and address your questions to the commission. And we'll do our best to get those answered for you after everyone has spoken. Yes, sir. You want to identify yourself?
My name is Jim Cornell. I'm a resident of Fairway, your neighbor. I'm also the chair of the Fairway floodplain. But when we look at this from Fairway, what we see are concrete boxes. Right now we have open space, we have a lot of green space, we have this area that used to be the Mission Mall. Now we see all that additional runoff being dumped into those 3 big boxes that are under that space. One of those boxes is the capacity of Rock Creek from through Fairway all the way to the plaza. What I would like to see is a plan that will retain and detain the floodwaters that are being dumped on the residential community of Fairway.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. I am one of the owners of the Roland Park Shopping Center, currently housed down the street. My name is David Belpedio. The first question: does the proposed aquarium project meet the criteria and the intended use of STAR bonds? In accordance with the STAR bond guidelines, the Gateway project must generate a substantial amount of out-of-state visitors to qualify for STAR bonds, at least 20%. An aquarium-Walmart combo is not the answer. Another question to consider: what have we learned from the experiences of other cities that have recently developed aquariums? Have we truly considered the extensive costs associated with maintaining the aquarium? In June of 2011, the Oregon Coast Aquarium defaulted on its $13 million bond issuance. The state laid off workers, implemented furlough days, and asked a major lender for a breather. The 1997 Tampa Tribune detailed the colossal failure of the Tampa Aquarium from the moment it opened. Debt accumulated at a rate of 22 cents per second. Attendance did not keep up, and 18 months after opening, the city had to take over the facility. I ask you to please consider that.
My name is Ira East Realty. I'm a property owner here in Mission, Kansas. I am very, very enthused about this project that I've known about, I think, Tom, since about 2005, was it?
Yes, sir.
It's a wonderful team that's working on this with fantastic experience. This project, to me, in Northeast Johnson County, can make Mission one of the most recognized cities, not only here in Johnson County or Jackson County, but I'm talking about many, many states, because of having the type of facilities within that project.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Adrienne Foster. I'm the mayor of Roland Park, your neighboring city. And I just wanted to come and ask you guys a couple things. And one of those is, I thought at the last commission or planning commission meeting that someone was going to reach out to both the City Fairway and the City of Roland Park, and that has not been done. My question is how are those trucks going to get off Shawnee Mission Parkway to go onto Rowe? Because they're certainly not going to go down Rowe Avenue. I think I mentioned that the last time. We will be getting with KDOT to make sure that trucks do not pass where our CVS is currently. I just think it's bad form, and this is all about business. I understand that. I'm not here to talk about taking my Walmart or anything like that, or 30% of my sales tax revenue. The guy was wrong, and haven't increased 20 mills. But what I'm here to talk about is, and I said it at the State of the City's address, Mayor McConnell's there, is, if I had to say two words of what would describe our city, they're all about collaboration and being sustainable. And I do not see this at this time. So I ask that you guys take some time. I don't think there's I am the only Hispanic mayor in Kansas right now. And our population who come to our Mercados, our Walmart, they are 95% Hispanic. And we just want to make sure, I'm concerned, I serve also on the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Greater Kansas City, that you guys are going to embrace our culture, that you're going to allow the children, no matter what demographic they are or what nationality they are, that they can come and, when you're at Crown Center, all the kids during the summer get to play in the water fountains. So are the kids going to be able to play in the water fountains? Are they going to be able to play in the grass? Are they not going to be saying that they're loitering or anything like that? Because Hispanics, we're all about family, and we welcome that in our city. And I hope that the City of Mission and these developers also embrace that, because everyone knows we have people that come from Kansas City, Missouri to Kansas City, Kansas. They know that our Mercados are for them. Everything's in Spanish and English. And so that is definitely a cultural, something that needs to be addressed culturally. Thank you.
Good evening.
My name's Jerry Wiley. My name was mentioned earlier. I'm the mayor of Fairway, and so I thought I'd just come up and introduce myself to you. You have your hands full here. And I will applaud whatever efforts. We certainly want to be good neighbors to Mission and do our part in being cooperative in all the redevelopment that's going on in Northeast Johnson County. This is a very revered part of our Johnson County. And I just want to extend an invitation to have open and free dialogue and communication so we can help you with some of these difficult decisions. We do have, you heard from our floodplain committee chairman, Jim Cornell, and we do have concerns of stormwater, and we are very well aware of the upstream development responsibilities along those lines. And the need for maybe some detention and consideration there. So I welcome any type of assistance we can provide for your decision-making, and please plug us into the process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening.
My name is Amy Miller. I'm a resident of the City of Mission, and my concerns really deal with the financial aspects of this project and how it will impact us as residents of the city. My questions begin with, what is the amount that has been spent by the City of Mission already to accommodate the beginning of this development? What additional amounts may be spent by the city to accommodate this development? Specifically, I'm looking at infrastructure, the changes to the streets and other infrastructure changes that have been made and that may need to be made based on studies that we've seen today. Additionally, how is the funding being paid for by the City of Mission? Will additional bonds be issued? My other questions have to do with revenue. What amount of revenue specifically will be raised by this project, and how will it offset expenditures? And then what is the city's plan if this development does not meet those expectations and the revenue falls short, and the city has planned on that revenue and budgeted for it, and now we have a shortfall? Those are my concerns.
My name is Leslie Herring. I'm a resident of Mission. And building on what Ms. Mills had said earlier about green space, and I was sitting outside in the annex earlier, so I may have not heard if this was addressed, but I see Walmart has a large roof that looks like it's probably going to be on the same plane as the top part of as the parking lot, the highest level parking. Is there any way to make that area a green space, like a green roof maybe, on top of Walmart and surrounding the 3 big box stores that will be there set on top of Walmart, that might be able to give the residents then some places to take their dogs if they're going to allow pets there, or visitors to this area, some more space to dwell and enjoy the sunlight. And I'd also like to second a previous speaker, and I like his point about not encouraging redundancies between our sister cities, namely Merriam. Not sure if there's only any way we can get around the Roland Park Walmart aspect of that, but with the theater and then definitely the fitness center for Sylvester Powell, I could definitely see that being a competition point. So, right, thank you.
Great, thank you.
The concern here is the application for star bonds, but I'm going to keep this germane to planning issues. Within the city's files, and as have been submitted to the Kansas Department of Commerce, is a feasibility study dated December of 2011, and it was submitted to the Department of Commerce not 2 weeks ago, and I received this from the city's files last Friday. What this feasibility study indicates and is based on to grant and to receive $67 million plus worth of star bonds is the statement that this project, and the aquarium being the hallmark of this project, will have 3,360,000 visitors per year. Now, here's what that means, because I can't relate to that type of number. What that is, if you take 3,360,000 visitors per year, divided by 365 days out of the year, the feasibility study and these bonds are supported by the assumption that there will be 9,205 visitors per day for 365 days out of the year for 15 remaining years on these bonds. It means that the aquarium portion of this project is going to add 3,682 vehicles a day, 365 days out of the year for the next 15 years. When you think about it, the Kansas City MSA is slightly more than 2 million people. We're going to require 3,360,000 people on this project every year, which means everyone in Kansas City is going to have to come to this thing about 1.5 times per year. And they're going to generate 3,682 parking requirements. and you just have the basic minimums of the cities now. The developer said, and Mr. Chairman, I'll make this short, I'm closing up. The developer indicated in the staff report that parking is critical to the proper use and success of this development. We will be taking proper care to maintain parking needs that is essential, and I think the developer's indicated, to his retail tenants and to the office tenants. If that's true, this project, to support the STAR bonds on the developer's own feasibility study dated December 2011, is going to have to add another 3,680 parking stalls to this development, more than double what appears now. And I like green space as much as the next person, but it isn't going to work. Not based upon the feasibility study that supports the bonds. Now, neither the traffic study and the parking analysis, but primarily the traffic study does not include any consideration, because I would bet you that neither Burns Black & Veatch nor GBA has a copy of this feasibility study, which indicates you're going to have over 3 million visitors. You're going to have per year. You're going to have 9,200 visitors a day. I'm not going to calculate what that is over a 10-hour day. How many people? Well, it's 920, as a matter of fact. Per hour. Now, I know every city grapples with the question of, if you have a big thing that is supposed to generate some sort of business or amenity in a city and it doesn't work, what are you going to do with it? You've wrestled with big box limitations and some relief for that and deviations in the recent ordinance that was adopted to make way for any number of developments, plus this. But what about a 75,000-foot aquarium? Feasibility says you're going to need all that population, all that parking. It's not there. If you can't park it, they're not going to come. See, once that thing goes dark, once the champagne period is over with, what are you going to do with it? And does it need to be designed to be broken up to be usable, or to have an empty fishbowl in the front door of this development? Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Jody Belpedio. I just have a few comments from observing tonight. I think y'all have a very challenging job, because all I heard tonight were a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of lack of information, and I don't know how you ever can make any kind of decision or anything asked upon you with that kind of data available. As someone that was trying to do research upon this project, I went to this Mission, Kansas website over the weekend to try to learn more about this meeting tonight. In the attachments that were included as part of this meeting was a traffic study. 4 pages of a 32-page report were scanned and available for viewing. Where's the other pages? It's a scanned document. It's not that hard to scan documents. In the stormwater report, a memo, a 1-page memo was available for viewing. The stormwater issue is a big issue. The report should be available to the public so the public can understand what's going on. When you clicked on the plan to look at what this plan was prior to tonight, there is no plan loaded on the website. Lack of information. So and then the last thing I want to share with you is Doug, the gentleman that talked about the feasibility study. I have been working very diligently to get the updated feasibility study. Have been rejected by the State of Commerce, or Secretary of Commerce for the state of Kansas as to access to that study. I'm very interested in learning about that study because, in my opinion, from reading the previous studies, it's so conflicted with that study's information and what this project is actually going to do. In the 2007 study, it reports that over 700,000 visitors will come to this aquarium. I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but on average, annually, 300,000 visitors visit the Omaha Aquarium, which is attached to the zoo, which has been around for a very long time. And this city thinks they're going to get 1.5 more times as it follows the 2012 opening of the Crown Center Sea Life exhibit. I encourage you all to slow this train down, keep digging on information. The STAR bonds are a big deal, $63 million. The lifespan, you have to prove longevity beyond 20 years past this term. Do you know the average life of a big box store is 10 years? Look up the street. Walmart opened in 1996. They tried to move to Mission in 2004, less than 10 years. They could sign a 20-year lease, but that doesn't mean they'll be operating for 20 years. Please, please have a responsibility to the tax dollars of Kansas when this Star Bond issue comes up. That might not be your job tonight, but it's got to be somebody's. It's a bottomless pit, it's a black hole. Please, people, pay attention to Star Bonds.
Thank you.